Welcome back to TaraChessAcademy, and today we are going to discuss some nice puzzles about winning extra material.
Hi everyone. Yes, for today we
Hi!
prepared interesting puzzles and I hope that you will enjoy them. So let's start. In the position on the chessboard, you see that black has an extra knight. Yes, so it's a good idea when you start thinking about the position when you first evaluate it. Yes, so you see if someone has an extra material or like position is equal.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, maybe it would be nice to get the black queen, but for now it's defended by the knight. Yeah, at the same time, we see some ideas, maybe with the checkmate on d8, but while the knight is on f6, yes, this plan doesn't work. So let's think what we can do. If it's time for some tactics, if you solve a puzzle, your candidate moves usually should start with checks, captures, and then you can think about some attacking moves. So, Tara, what ideas do you have? What candidate moves do you see in this position for white?
First, I'm going to look at the different checks like you said. So, the checks that I see are possibly queen captures e4, queen captures e6, or rook to d1.
Hmm.
Or, sorry, rook to d8.
Hmm. Okay, so let's start with queen takes e4. What happens if we trade queens? Yeah, the knight captures, and unfortunately, we don't have mate in one in this position. Yeah, just because the 8 is defended by the knight. So that's why the first move, queen takes e4, doesn't help us to improve this position. Of course, we can try a queen sacrifice, but to be honest, I don't think that we can get something after this. So diagonal is still blocked for the bishop, so rook d8 is still
Mm-hmm.
not possible. Okay, so, and I think that you were talking about one more possible check. Yeah, it's if we start with a rook sacrifice, so rook d8. Okay, so let's discuss it more. Yeah, is it possible to capture the rook with a knight?
For now, the knight is pinned, so it won't be able to capture it with their knight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so that's why the king takes. Yeah. Okay. What happens then?
Oh, so now we can simply capture the black queen because it's pinned by the knight, because it looks like the knight is guarding the queen, but the knight is pinned by our bishop on g5.
Mm-hmm. You're right. So computer doesn't let me to capture it. So yeah, I think the main idea of this puzzle is decoying. So we start with a rook sacrifice because we want to decoy the black king on this diagonal. And now this knight is actually not a defender for the queen, yeah, because it's pinned. So it's up to you. In this position, you have two several goods. You can two good moves in this position. So you can capture the queen immediately or you can start with bishop takes f6 first, yeah, and capture the queen next move. So both of these moves would be good. So yeah, the right idea is to start with rook to d8. So I hope that everything is clear about this position and we can go to the
Mhm.
next one.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so if we evaluate this position, you see that black has an extra material. Again, yes, in previous puzzle, as I can see, black has an extra bishop. Let's see if white can get an extra material or maybe even mate the king, create some mates ideas. So, Tara, what ideas do you have about candidate moves?
It, so instead of telling you the possible options for check, I'm just going to give the viewers some ideas about the position, and hopefully that will help them to find the right moves. So I can notice that black's pieces are mostly on the back rank. They've got the rook, king, and the other rook on the back rank. And plus, our rook on d1 has a whole open file. And I can also notice that the knight on c5 is pinned by our queen on a3.
Mm-hmm.
So just by noticing these things, we can get a sense of the type of position that we have to play in. So if you found the right move, good job. That move is queen captures c5.
Nice. So it's a check, yeah, and at the same time you want to capture the queen. The problem is that black also can capture your queen, so let's see. What happens if queen takes? What would you do?
Then rook to d1 would be a checkmate.
So you move the rook to d8 and e7 is not available for the king because of the knight. So yeah, it looks nice. Okay. So let's think if black doesn't capture the queen, what's gonna happen in this position? So, okay, what if I play queen to e7? What would you do?
Then queen captures e7 would also be a checkmate.
Yeah, you're right. So it's mate. Okay, what if I just move the king away? Maybe king e8. I think that in this position there is no mate. Yeah, so if we play queen e7, there is a defender. We also can't play rook to d8. I think the king or the queen can capture. So in this variation, I don't see mate in one, but just playing queen takes c7 should be enough for white to win this position. So that's why after queen takes c5, black has a choice to lose the queen or to be mated next move. So yeah, queen takes
Right.
c5 is the winning move. Yeah.
And as you can see from this puzzle and the other puzzle, we can start to notice some basic themes like removing the guard. And here we can see this in both of these puzzles, right? In the first one, we captured the knight to remove the guard of the queen. In this one, we captured the knight to remove the guard of the queen. And the queen is not necessarily guarding a piece, but it's guarding an important square, which is the d8 square. Well, we can notice that if the queen did not capture the knight, and if we go back to a move ago, the rook would really like to move to d8, but the queen would be guarding that square. So now that we distract the queen away from that square, we can make a checkmate.
Yeah, you're right. So this is how destruction of defense works. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next puzzle. I hope that you understand everything about this one. Okay, so in this position, I think that we still have chances to get an extra material. In this puzzle, I don't see any extra material for black right now. Yeah, position looks equal, so just an extra pawn. Yeah, but no extra pieces. And let's think how white can get an advantage. So following your advices about candidate moves, yeah, we can start with founding all possible checks or captures. So what ideas do you have, Tara?
Let's see, maybe the queen could capture the black queen, and some of you might be thinking about that already, because I'm guessing that you're thinking that if the knight takes, you would want to move the rook to d8. But hold on a second, would that really be a checkmate? No, it wouldn't, because the knight on c6 would capture your rook. That wouldn't be good for us.
Yeah, so I don't want to lose my material. So let's go back. Yeah, maybe there is still a chance for us to win this queen. So let's see. If we take the queen immediately, it looks just like an exchange, yeah, because the knight is defender. Okay, if I follow your advice and try to destruct this defense, so does it work if I start with bishop takes e7? Is it a good idea?
Well, so if the black queen captures our queen, you might be thinking that rook to d8 would be a checkmate, but again, we should be careful because the king would just capture the bishop. That's not a checkmate.
I agree. Yeah, so the rook takes and black has a winning position. Yeah, the queen for the rook. Okay, so queen takes e6 doesn't work, bishop takes e7 doesn't work. So what should I start with? What other ideas do you have, Tara?
It's so important to look for the checks and the captures first because then you'll have an immediate basis on the ideas of the position. If you start to directly look for other moves, well, you still might be able to find good moves, but just by looking at the checks and the captures first, you'll have a better chance of finding the best moves. So if those of you found it at home, you might be thinking of rook to d8 check.
Check. Okay. I see just one possible answer. It's king takes the rook. And what happens then?
Then the knight on e7 isn't pinned by our bishop, so we could simply capture the black queen.
I agree. Yeah, so we sacrificed the rook, but finally we got the queen, so of course this position is winning for white. And I just want to tell you one more thing about this position. So for now, it would be not the best idea to capture the knight. Yeah, you may think that, okay, if the king takes, then we still get the queen. But of course, black doesn't have to capture the bishop. It's still possible to play king to c7 or king to d7 and defend the queen. Yeah, so that's why it's better not to include this move in our calculations and I mean like in this variation. So and we just capture the queen immediately. So without making any problems for ourselves.
Mhm. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed these puzzles and the video. And if you did, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to others. I'll see you on my next video. Bye!
Bye.